This is Sheffield Live.
Yes, good afternoon and welcome to the Sqweek. My name is Luke Crofts.
And I'm James Hargreaves.
Hope you're well out there on this dire Sunday afternoon, it has to be said, in Sheffield. How's your week been, James?
It's been good, been very busy and also just spent a lot of time wasted on playing the new Star Wars Battlefront game.
Marvellous. Is it any good?
Yeah, it's really good. It's the essence of Star Wars.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Feels like you're actually in the film.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, marvellous. Have you not been to any gigs then this week?
Not this week, no. Been listening to quite a bit of Sheffield music, just checking out some stuff that's going on, but not been out as such.
Well, I think this is the first week that I've actually not been to a gig.
Is it?
Yeah, in the last something like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So, a bit weird. How's your Christmas shopping coming on? Did you get hooked on Black Friday madness?
I spent like some money yesterday just buying some rubbish because it was Black Friday. But yeah, that's my Christmas shopping pretty much done. I don't do a great deal of Christmas shopping anyway.
No, I didn't partake in all the Black Friday stuff. There were some really good deals, especially on Amazon. Especially on booze. There were a lot of good booze offers on. But
I look at Amazon and I remember the very first Black Friday they did several years ago, and compared to that, the stuff on there now is just tap for nothing.
Well, Asda said they weren't going to do it this year. And to be fair, I don't think they really missed out, because it's not like they come and do a grocery shop after they've bought all the electricals. They don't. They come geared up to get whatever they can get their hands on, and then they leave. So you end up making a loss on it anyway, and I think they'd realise that this year.
Well, did you see the complaints about Tesco that opened at 5 a.m. for Black Friday, and people went in to do the normal shopping and got turned away?
Did they?
Yeah, they got turned away because they opened at 5 a.m. for Black Friday deals, and then didn't allow anyone to do regular shopping until after 7 a.m. apparently.
Oh, well, what's all that about? Why not?
Yeah, well, I thought that's the idea, to get people in to come and buy it. buy lots of stuff. It's like a loss leader almost, isn't it? Well,
it's got to be. But like you say, the stuff that's actually on now, it's like rubbish tellies.
Yeah. Like
digi-home tellies and all that. You know what I mean? You can get a massive telly for a reasonable price, but how long is it going to last? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the shine's sort of been taken away from it now. Cyber Monday though tomorrow.
Yes, yeah. It's apparently the biggest online shopping day, isn't it?
Well, is there any point to it though? Because sort of Black Friday lasts all weekend anyway, doesn't it?
Well, so, it lasted all last week.
That's what I mean.
It started from Monday last week all the way through to now.
So why do we need a Cyber Monday when the Black Friday deals have been on since sort of Wednesday afternoon or whatever?
It's an American tradition, isn't it? I think in America they don't do your traditional Boxing Day sales and January sales, and so it works out that they do their sales before Christmas. And obviously that trend has come over here now.
Looks like it, definitely. Well, there's been a lot going on this week, and it's a lot of it is sport related.
Yeah.
Jamie Vardy, who we were talking about last week, chef lad, playing for Leicester, has broken the record.
Yeah.
He's beaten Ruud van Nistelrooy's record. He said the word and never got the word. He scored.
It's for consecutive goals, isn't it?
Yeah, he scored in 11 consecutive games now, and he's the top scorer with 14 up to now. And Ruud van Nistelrooy did send him a tweet just saying, congratulations. So I think that's great for him. I think were it Wednesday at one point and then left
as a kid, yeah, and then kind of got rejected by Wednesday. He went and played for Stocksbridge Park Steels for a while.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and then got picked up from there. Was it Halifax or somewhere like that he ended up going to, and then got picked up Leicester, is it?
Yeah, Leicester. And I saw something on Twitter actually which made me laugh, and it said, for all of you Chelsea fans wondering who Claudio Ranieri is, he was the manager before you supported him. Yeah, I did like that one. So yeah, he's broken the record. That's great. Andy Murray is in the final of the Davis Cup today.
Yeah.
And he and his brother Jamie won the doubles yesterday. So if he wins, I think Great Britain have won overall, which is it'll be the first time in 79 years.
Right.
If math serves. The last time he won it was 1936. So yeah.
I'm not a big tennis fan, to be honest. But,
no.
But each to their own, and well played for him if he goes through and does that and gets that championship after all this time.
Yeah, no, good. Well, he was the first British male since Fred Perry to win Wimbledon, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course.
So, and it looks like he'll be, doing the same thing. Last man to win it was Fred Perry in 1936, who obviously then went on to have a famous fashion clothing range.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Obviously not. That was a joke.
For hooligans everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, leave it there. And then Ronnie's decided not to defend his crown in the UK Championships, which started this week.
Oh, Ronnie O'Sullivan, yeah.
Yeah. Now I have to say, someone said it's a strange decision. It seems to have lost its glossy art, Ronnie. There, I was watching yesterday, and there was Stuart Bigham, who was the reigning world champion, versus Anthony Hamilton, and it was one of the worst snooker matches I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Not quite up there with Graham Dott and Peter Ebdon, but dire. I ended up switching it off. So I'm not sure. How exciting it's going to be without Ronnie. So hopefully he comes back soon.
Well, he adds that extra bit of flair to it, doesn't he? He's got that personality and that arrogance kind of thing. And
yeah, well, he's just by far, in my opinion, the best player that's ever played the game.
Yeah.
He's just a special talent. But yeah, he's one of the big characters as well, which is what you want. When
you absolutely need it. Every sport needs the characters to kind of draw the fans in. The fans need someone to relate to, and they can follow and become a fan of. And Ronnie O'Sullivan's that kind of person. You had back in the 80s Steve Davis and things like that, which no personality, very boring.
Everybody hated him because he was winning everything. He wasn't much of a character, and you didn't like him at all. Whereas Ronnie, he's probably underachieved in the game, really, because of his sort of temperament issues. But he was just sort of starting to win everything again, and now he's sort of taking a sabbatical. They've asked him if he's going to come back for the Masters in January. He says, "I'm not sure." Then again, everything he says you've got to take with a pinch of salt.
He's done it before, hasn't he, for the Crucible World Championship?
Oh yeah, he's resigned. He's retired from the game loads of times. Ronnie.
Yeah,
you just got to take what he says with a pinch of salt, I think.
Yeah, but legend. He's obviously got the talent to be able to do this kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So music-wise, what have we got lined up first of all, James?
First of all, we have the SHERLOCKS. These are a Sheffield band. I'm sure many people might have heard of these. They're charted a few times with their last few releases. They supported Reverend and the Makers on their last tour. They're supporting the Libertines on their next tour, and they're playing the Main Room at Plug on the 19th of December.
Well, if you are struggling to listen live, that's because we're having problems with the website, but you can get us on 93.2 on the FM if you're in Sheffield. But this is the SHERLOCKS. And what's it called again?
This is Heart of Gold.
Heart of Gold.
You can't explain what you want to say. You try, but you keep on looking away. She said, I don't know if I feel the same. You better tell me now before it all unfolds. You're a sweet girl with a heart of gold, but I'm sure you know that when it all comes down and you can't go back, you wish you never lied, and you sat on your own at home crying. Why couldn't we have tried? You better listen this time, I don't want to let you go. I'll forgive you tonight for more than you ever know. We carried on, everything's gonna be fine. No, it ain't no with a hatred of mine, 'cause you can't carry on lying to yourself. It's not right, and everybody else knows what you're looking for, and I know what you're looking for, but it seems so far away. But when it all comes down and you can't go back, you wish you never lied, and you sat on your own at home crying. Why attempts to toe the line just pass me by. But nobody gets me like you do. I'm all for open arms, the inside joke, the deafening silence punchline.
And that's the SHERLOCKS with Heart of Gold. Not many bands in Sheffield can sell out the main room at Plug, but it looks like the SHERLOCKS might be doing that for this December show.
And when's that again?
That's the 19th of December, just before Christmas, so it's a bit of a Christmas knees up, and the SHERLOCKS playing.
Marvellous. I would just you just reminded me there. In the car I've got Smooth Christmas. There's a DAB station, obviously through Smooth, which is all Christmas music. And it's literally all of the worst Christmas hits. It's
not even December yet, Luke, and you're listening to Christmas radio.
Well, I've got a new hire car, and it's a bit hard to work out, but you can have 6 stations, and if you flip between, it only goes on them 6, and then you have to scan again.
Right.
So, and I just can't be bothered to change it. So I've got that in one of the 6. So if I flick on, it's on.
So it's a Mariah Carey on loop, is it?
We've had Mariah Carey, Shawaddy Waddy with Hey Mr. Christmas.
Wow.
All of the best stuff.
All the greats, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So do you reckon they'll do a Christmas cover of something then, James, or not?
I don't. They're quite a serious band, the SHERLOCKS, but they're doing really well. They've, as I say, they're supporting the Libertines on their next tour, and they've supported Reverend and the Makers on their last tour. They've done a few festivals last year as well, so they're making a name for themselves, and their last few singles are charted as well. So for a humble Sheffield band, they're doing really well.
Awesome. Now, I saw something in the news, which, I mean, I think she's like Marmite. You either like her or you don't. Katie Hopkins.
Oh,
now
yeah.
she's doing a guest lecture. Have you seen it in the
yes,
in the news?
It's one of my favourite stories of the week. This.
No, go on. You lead with it then.
Yeah. Well, apparently it was at Brunel University, wasn't it? And she went to do a debate in one of the auditoriums there, and the students filled it out. So she got a really good crowd there. As soon as she came on and started talking, they all stood up, turned their backs to her, and walked out.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about her? She is quite a controversial figure, and she loves going on Twitter and causing a storm, doesn't she?
Yeah, but she's a professional at doing that. It's her purpose in life to do that, to wind people up, to have that controversial opinion. And the more that people react to it, the more famous she gets, the more coverage she gets, the more she gets asked to do these shows. And at the end of the day, it's just one of those things that people are feeding, because I don't believe that she has all of these opinions all of the time.
No,
I think she just goes for the minority kind of controversial opinion, just to get out there and get her face in the news.
Well, she was on. She's a regular on This Morning, which is primarily watched by stay-at-home mums that have got the kids to look after.
Yeah.
And some of the things that she it's as if she targets that audience.
It's a very clever piece of targeting as well, because they're the kind of people that will be sat at home, as you say, they're stay-at-home mums and stuff. They're the ones that will be watching it, and your Jeremy Kyle kind of audience, and they're the ones that will get offended by it and then start tweeting and Facebooking, because they've got nothing else to do in the day generally. So that's probably a controversial opinion as well. But
well, she did Celebrity Big Brother, which is in essence a popularity contest for people that have sort of taken a tumble in their career, if you like, and she almost won.
Yeah, she's got a following for the stuff she says, but anyone gets followings. You look at Britain First on Facebook, and you look at like, all these things that get spread around and shared. What some people might consider to be offensive or silly opinions. On Facebook, you can share anything and you can have any opinion, and that's fair enough. But she's got her followers, so she's what can you say about that? She's obviously got her opinions, and people will latch onto it.
I think. I mean, she had quite a bit of. She has to be around people that have got an opinion, and the people that didn't like Keith Chegwin, I think I remember him having battles because she was like, she called him Switzerland all the time. She sat on the fence.
Yeah.
So she is opinionated, and that's how she is. But I think what a lot of people saw is that it is a bit of a show. She's not really like that. Like you say, I think she just says it for just to get rises out of people.
Yeah.
Just on Britain First, I watched a documentary on BBC Three about them.
All right.
And it was, I mean, obviously some of the content was quite shocking. They were, aggravating certain people to get the result that they wanted for the propaganda that they were trying to, throw out on there. Yeah. But as the sort of the BBC Three, the guy that was doing the documentary sort of got a bit more into it, and they sort of stirring themselves up. They cut it out. They said we're not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
They realised that the image they wanted to show wasn't working. So that was it. They just said, right, we're not doing it anymore.
Funny that, isn't it? But yeah, Britain First stuff, they're very clever in what they do. They share things that generally people will agree with, which has kind of undertones of, the other opinions, the controversial opinions as such. And people almost unwittingly share it, tied to Britain First, without knowing it's Britain First that they're sharing. But yeah, I've just got a text in, actually.
A text has flooded in.
A text, it's a veritable flood, saying it's a massive generalisation, and not all people that are at home in the day are stay-at-home mums. Of course not. That's not what I meant. I meant the audience for that kind of content.
What I meant was that the people that she was targeting, she knew that we're going to be watching, so she'd gone on that show as a medium to directly aggravate those people. Is what I was trying to get.
That's it.
Yeah. No, I when I worked in retail, I had a ADELPHI in the week, and I'm certainly not a stay-at-home mum. So no, we didn't mean anything by that.
Yeah. And just on that as well, if you can get in touch if you're listening, get us on Twitter at the Sqweek, at THESQWEEK, and on Facebook /the Sqweek as well, and have your say on the matters we're talking about.
Yeah, lovely review from Sheffield Band Magazine. I thought that was extremely funny.
Yeah, have you got it there? It's after last week's show when we had Danny Pietnik, wasn't it? And
yeah, let me try and find it. Was it on the Facebook group, or was it on the Twitter?
I think I got it here. Actually, it was on Facebook. Sheffield Band Magazine said every now and then something comes along that's so wonderful you have to give it a go. The Sqweek is a new Sheffield live show and podcast and manages to combine playing the odd local band's music with accidental Partridge-esque chatter about potholes, memorable handshakes, and other things you knew you didn't really care about until they remind you. Yeah. Give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? I thoroughly agree.
Yeah, it started off, it got less complimentary towards the end, but I thought it was really funny. And I can't find it. Where's it gone? Was it on Twitter?
It was on Facebook on Wednesday, I think, when we put the podcast on YouTube.
Alright. I don't really understand how this page works, in fairness.
It's Facebook. It'll have some kind of algorithm to
It's
confuse
really complicated, though. I mean, for everybody else, it's fine, but because we're admin of it, it's a bit of a nightmare. I'll just let you deal with it, James. It's fine. Katie Hopkins is out of the way and gone, thankfully.
Yeah.
Watch out for on this morning if you're a stay-at-home mum, or indeed anybody that's home during the day.
Yeah, indeed.
What have we got next on the musical front?
Let's go for ADELPHI.
I thought you were going to say Adele.
No.
Dave would have gone barn.
Our mate Dave, who's said that he's a bit annoyed with us speaking about Adele all the time.
Well, just while you mention Adele, James.
Oh, funny that. Just for Dave, Dave's Adele segment.
Well, she came up in the car because we were saying, obviously they brought out Band-Aid 30 last year, and she wasn't in it for whatever reason, because she was, she wasn't doing anything. She'd deliberately taken a break, so she wasn't in it. But she's broken all sorts of records. She's sold something like 3.4 million copies in its first week in the US. Crazy. So she's broken all sorts of records.
That's a lot of people being depressed listening to that music, isn't it?
I don't think it's depressing. I like it.
As I said last week, in isolation, 1 or 2 tracks are great, but a full album, I couldn't do it, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I've not listened to the album. I've not bought. Maybe I'll get it as a Christmas present.
Yeah.
No, I don't really want it as a Christmas present. I'll just listen to it on the radio.
Any of Luke's family listening, taking that hint?
Well, she's not put it on Spotify, so I can't get it. I can only get the single.
Now, there's a few artists kind of kicking off Spotify at the minute, and it's a bit ironic that she then puts it on Apple Music and things. Oh, in fact, she hasn't put it on Apple Music.
No, it's Taylor Swift. She fell out with Spotify and put it on.
So Adele's not on Apple Music either.
Is she not?
No. Which is interesting. There's a whole big debate about that over how much the bands get.
Well, we'll go into that after Adelphi. So tell us more about Adelphi, James.
Adelphi, they're again local. They're fronted by 2 of one of the best songwriters in Sheffield, Matt Longdon and Ollie King. They supported the Ordinary Boys at Plug recently.
All right.
And Matt Longdon, they do the solo stuff every so often as well. So Matt Longdon will be playing Carl Maloney Presents at Yellow Arch next year, and you can get tickets from that from Carl Maloney on his Facebook page and things. But this one is called Ego Tamer.
Ego Tamer. This is Adelphi on the Sqweek 93.2 FM. Give us a shout on Twitter at the Sqweek.
You're just a cardboard cutout, no heart, no soul, no charm. Yet you walk out of here with a light on both of your arms. You've gone all 3rd album before you've seen the stars. If you open your mind, might as well try and open your heart. Even though your mind has wandered, I've only got myself to blame. Absence made the heart grow fonder. That's when I realized that I'm just the same. Just a cardboard cutout, no heart, no soul, no charm. And that's why I've never been able to keep a girl on my arm. I've gone all 3rd album, the jackets and the boots. And if you came back to me, I would try and explain it for you. Even though your mind has wandered, I've only got myself to blame. Actions make the heart grow fonder. That's when I realized that my ego could never be tamed. That my ego could never be tamed. That my ego could never be tamed. That my ego could never be tamed.
So Ego Tamer by Adelphi there. It's a cracking song, that. I love it. And Carl Maloney agrees as well. Obviously, he's putting them on for his Carl Maloney Presents at Yellow Arch next year. Or Matt Longdon, at least, will be playing that. But, yeah, he's put Love We Are Adelphi. They're at We Are Adelphi on Twitter. He's put Rate Band, as he does in his Sheffield accent.
Lovely, yeah. Types how he speaks.
He's also tweeted in to say... he's listening to see what chocolate bar we mentioned this week. He's saying that Curly Wurlies have had their time.
Oh, absolutely. And chocolate bars just aren't as good as they used to be, are they?
No.
And I'm sure it's not just because obviously when we were kids they seemed a lot bigger, and now they don't seem as big, but they are making them smaller.
Yeah.
Even the the boxes of celebrations and whatnot.
Did you just
bang my elbow there? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm
Funny
all right.
bone.
I can
Funny
keep-
bone.
Yeah, not very humorous. Ooh. Yeah, even the boxes of the roses and that, they're getting smaller,
Yeah.
but the price is not going down, James.
No, of course not. It's like wagon wheels, isn't it?
Oh, wagon wheels are rubbish these days, I have to say.
They used to be the size of CDs, and now they're the size of Jaffa
Mini
cakes
discs.
almost. Yeah, mini discs.
Yeah, whatever happened to them? They were rubbish. Yeah. Do you know? I remember a friend of my older brother's who he'd bought a new car, and he'd negotiated with him, and he said, right, unless you put me a mini disc player in, not buying it. So they put him one in, and then obviously it all flopped, didn't it?
I loved my mini disc player. I had a mini disc player. I loved that you could record onto mini disc. I loved that how portable it was.
Yeah,
they were brilliant for me.
Well, they were. It was good, but obviously not soon after the MP3 and the iPod and everything came out, and that was that.
Killed everything.
It's like the last hire car I didn't even have a CD player. Do you
No,
remember?
yeah,
We got in, I was like, because they tend to hide them these days, so in the glove box or they're under a flap or something. This one didn't have one.
I remember
at
searching around the car trying to find.
all. I was like, James, I want to put Adele on. Where's the CD player?
Yeah, you're obsessed with Adele.
I like Adele. I do. I like it.
Oh, Dave will love you for this. But yeah, Curly Wurlies have had their day. And
Curly Wurlies, yeah, absolutely.
The cost of them, like, they used to be, 10p Curly Wurlies? Like the Freddos and stuff like that.
They used to be bigger and cheaper, and now they're smaller and more expensive.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I can't really deal with any sort of toffee-based sweet.
Really?
And if I get a box of roses or anything similar, at the end it's just the toffee pennies and the long, thin toffee sticks that are left.
They don't do them anymore, do they, in roses, I think?
They do one of them, but that's all that ends up getting left, and then I just throw them away.
I only say that because we had a box of roses this week, and to ourselves, me and my other half, and we got down to the bottom. When you get to the end, and there's just the flavours that you don't like.
Yeah, that's the only one I don't like is the toffees.
Yeah.
Which ones do you get left in your house?
The coffee ones generally.
See, when I were a kid, I didn't like the coffee ones, but as I've matured,
have you?
Well, only in certain ways. I forgot I've got my glasses on today, and I've just gone to scratch my eye and poke myself in the glasses.
That's very mature.
I know, yeah, excellent.
Like cheddar.
Yeah. Ooh, very good. We're not doing cheese puns again.
But yeah, we had the coffee one left in the box the other day, and Rachel didn't know what it was. So you want to finish off the roses? So I've had enough now. She put it in her mouth, took a bite, and then ended up spitting it out. Bless her.
See, that's the thing. At least you know. Well, obviously, if you're playing trickery on somebody, then they don't. But at least you know because you've got like a menu of sorts.
Yeah.
But if you get a bag of Revels, different beast.
Oh yeah, Revels. Yeah, I really like Revels. They're one of my favourite confectionery packets.
We mentioned them all today, aren't we?
Yeah.
What was I going to talk about? It's gone. I think we've covered enough chocolate. But the Freddos. They used to be 10p.
Yeah.
And they've gone up in price. And I get inflation. All the rest.
They're like 25 pence or something now.
No, they're a rip-off.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if you're going to buy a chocolate bar and you're in a supermarket, you may as well just get a pack of 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we can get a pack of 4 for £1, or a chocolate bar 65p.
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's a no-brainer, isn't it?
It's a no-brainer.
An absolute no-brainer.
Absolutely.
That's the no-brainer of the week.
Do you know? Maybe. Why not? Let's have that one. It's got to be better than Historical Handshake and a lot easier to come by. Just back on Spotify, what do you make of it then?
Spotify, it's both a blessing and a curse because it gives everybody the access that they want to music, but is at a cost to the artists that are doing it. I think the average it's shrouded in mystery, but the average kind of price that's been worked out that artists get from it is 0.06 pence and per play. But then you also factor in you're essentially just renting a listen of a song, aren't you? So you're not going to pay an artist like 50 pence to listen to it once. There's arguments on both sides. My thinking is that the industry's moved on now, and the public have moved on with it. So you've got to kind of embrace it a bit, and through action, the artists and the publishers have got to try and get the royalties up from those companies.
Well, I think if you the best way to do it, if you make a playlist and put all your songs in there, if you keep playing that playlist, then it's going to get played. But what they try and do now, if your playlist isn't long enough, then they'll put some suggested tracks in there.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So yeah, I mean, personally, I have Spotify. I quite like it. But Taylor Swift, who we mentioned earlier, she's not gone on Spotify, but she's gone on Apple Music. So there must be some fairer way of splitting the royalties in Apple Music.
Yeah, well, she initially pulled it from Apple Music, and then did a public post about how she thought that artists are getting treated unfairly, and the head of Apple Music tweeted her back with a response saying we're looking into it, and essentially changed it and capitulated through the action of Taylor Swift. So she's helped out artists everywhere.
I don't understand though why Adele has not put the album on, but she's put a single on. Either all of it or none of it, surely. I don't understand that.
It's marketing, isn't it? You just put your single on, it gets lots of plays, and then it essentially markets your album as well. People hopefully go out and then buy it because they can't access it on there.
Oh, actually, yeah, I suppose if you think about it in that way, it's a stroke of genius, really. Yeah. Adele, let us know, get in touch. I've given her a follow, so follow back.
Do you think she's seen your tweet today that you're on air and she's tuned in?
Well, you never know. She might not be able to listen live, though, because she's not in Sheffield, is she?
Well, apparently the Listen Live link is working. I don't know how you get to it, but the homepage of the website is now. But the Listen Live link is working.
Yeah, so if you can guess the Listen Live address, then that'd be marvellous. And if you could let us know, that'd be great. Yeah, I know some people have managed to get on. If it's a rubbish show, then it won't matter because nobody, about 3 people have listened anyway.
Yeah,
that's always a bonus. Spotify, I'm an advocate for it, but see, because I don't really have any CDs anymore as well.
Yeah,
so it's good just to listen through my phone or my iPad or whatever.
But the best way, if you're a music fan, the best way of supporting a band is literally to go to the gigs.
Absolutely,
and buy the tickets for the gigs, and if they got merch there, buy the merch. Their CDs there, their T-shirts or whatever.
Yeah, and whatever you do,
directly.
Whatever you do, don't have your phone out for the entire gig.
Yes, yeah.
or a backpack, Carl.
Yeah.
So what else have we got lined up on the musical?
On the music, we've got Circus Wolves, another band that I want to have a look at. These are actually a Manchester-based band. They supported Slow Readers Club in Leeds recently.
Oh, yeah. I've been just on Slow Readers Club. They've been posting all sorts of stuff from the gigs, and they've been having a great following. I think they were in Manchester last night, and it looked like an awesome gig.
A homecoming for them, isn't it?
Absolutely packed out. So it looked great.
And they played Liverpool, they played Leeds. They're up and coming. They're really good. Al Neil was that impressed with them recently. His friends of the band anyway, but he's literally gone to all of their gigs.
Yeah.
Since they started this tour, so he's almost a fanboy up in the front row. But yeah, this band Circus Wolves, they recently played gigs that were well received at West Street Live and at South Sea Live in Sheffield as well. And this one they sent me, it's called Adoration.
Adoration? I tell you what though, if Neil was stood in front, you wouldn't really see much if you stood behind him, would you?
No.
I'll break it down.
Circus Wolves Adoration. I love that tune.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was really good.
If you want to follow them, they're on Facebook /Circus Wolves. So give them a follow. And just to let you know as well, if you're having troubles with the website and you're listening to us on FM but you want to listen on the website, we've just retweeted a link to the live player that is working. The homepage of the website doesn't seem to be working, but the live player we've retweeted a link to, so have a look on @Sqweek.
Error establishing a database connection. That must be the worst kind of database error.
Yeah, I would
just from memory.
Connection error, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Just had a text. Can't believe you're talking about Adele again. Well, he said taking about. Well, I think he meant talking about.
I'd imagine.
Read between the lines. Sorry, Dave.
It's becoming a regular feature, Dave, just for you. It's Dave's Adele segment.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, we were just talking about Jamie Vardy then while we're off air. And Wednesday aren't doing bad actually this season, are they? And they had a decent result away at Blackburn. And I'm going to see them on Tuesday.
Yeah,
I'm going to Stoke. I'm really excited because I think coming off Stoke's a difficult place to go, and it always was when Tony Pulis was in charge.
Yeah.
But they've just been hammered by Sunderland, and we've just had a decent draw away at Blackburn, so I think going into that we should give them a game. What do you reckon, James?
Yeah, I think so. Like you say, Tony Pulis kind of shut down Stoke, didn't he? He made it almost a fortress down there, but nowadays they're much more inviting to go to as an away club.
Yeah.
And after some of the results we've had, Lucas João seems to be on form, and we're having a great time of it. I think we're 8th in the league currently, but it's quite close up at the top. It's been a good season for us at last, really.
Well, yeah. I mean, a few people on Twitter were saying, it's been a bit sluggish, and I'm like, well, it's the best we've performed in, well, as long as I can remember, to be honest, and probably since we got relegated from the Premier League.
So think back, just a few years ago, where at the end of the season we got relegated when we played Crystal Palace. And just, we can't say that this season has been any kind of failure in comparison to stuff like that.
Well, in the last probably 15 years, it's about as much likelihood that we've experienced of possibly finishing in the top 6 in the Championship.
Yeah, and hopefully we will do, and hopefully we'll get up there.
Well, if we don't, at least we've had a good season.
Yeah,
and
something to build on for next season.
Well, exactly. It's a platform for next season if it doesn't happen now. And the guy that nobody had heard of seems to be doing a pretty decent job.
Yes.
So
he got a mixed reception, didn't he, when he first came in, and suddenly in Carlos we trust.
Well, I mean, my brother and his mate Rob are massive football fans in general. And if they've not heard of somebody, then it's a bit of a worry. And they'd never heard of him, and I'm like, oh God, that's not a good sign. But no, he's worked.
I'd heard of him, but only kind of in the context of he'd had so many clubs over so many years.
14 clubs in 14 years or something ridiculous.
But
now, if you'd gone for a job interview, well, okay, Mr. Crofts, so you've had 14 jobs in 14 years. Why is that then? You'd be struggling to justify that, wouldn't you?
Well, you struggle to justify that, or you struggle to justify a big, massive gap on your CV, don't you? Have you been in the nick or something?
Have you been away?
Yeah, but we're both Wednesday fans, obviously, not to disparage any United fans listening out there. I don't think your season's going too well, is it, unfortunately, but... did you just do a laugh there?
Yes.
I'm there trying to balance the
well, you didn't do a very good job, did you? Let's be honest. They played Barnsley at the weekend. Did they draw?
I genuinely don't know.
I'm just trying to find them in the league table. Where are they?
I'm not one of these Wednesday fans that's obsessed with United, as a lot of Wednesday fans seem to be.
No, I mean, to be fair, I don't mind a bit of banter, but some people take it far too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one all draw away, and the 12th in the League One at the moment.
Yeah. Well, good on them. But yeah, we're not trying to purposefully leave any United stuff out. We're just not necessarily United fans.
No, Nigel Adkins in charge, and I think a lot of people were surprised when he went to manage United, because obviously Premier League and whatever else. So to drop to League One was a bit of a surprise, but it's been a bit of a slow start, I think. But you know, I think it'd be good to be in the same league, because we've not had a derby for a couple of years, have we?
That's it. The best kind of scenario for both clubs is both clubs to do it and get into the Premier League and have a Premier League derby.
Premier League derby would be awesome, yeah.
You know, I reckon that we could compete with the likes of Liverpool and Manchester and all the London clubs on levels of derby. The passion that goes around on a derby day is brilliant.
And you know, when you look at some of the clubs in the Premier League, I know they're not now, but the likes of Fulham and QPR that have been in the Premier League in recent seasons can only hold something like 18,000 people, and our grounds are 30 odd thousand capacity. So we've definitely got the scope for it.
Yeah, indeed, and football's football. It's a passionate thing.
Full of passionate supporters in Sheffield.
Full of passionate supporters, and for us to get up there would be great. Both teams in the Premier League doing a derby would be fantastic.
Do you know what I think? Like BBC radio have. When they've got a camera that you can watch live.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great if we could have one of those.
Yeah. Well, I've got a GoPro. I've been tempted to bring my GoPro in and do that as the YouTube, because we put the shows on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Been tempted to bring that in. Might do that next week.
Get me poking myself in the glasses. Yeah. Not doing that again next week.
You can see all the behind the scenes stuff of there where I just lost my train of thought because I was trying to read and signal to Luke what track to read next.
Oh yeah, it's all good fun. It was a choice between the contact lenses this morning or catching the breakfast at Wetherspoons before the 12 o'clock cut-off, so I opted for the breakfast. What have we got now then, James?
Okay, this is one of my favourite bands of this entire year. They headlined Crystal for Tramlines this year, and just before that we saw them at the Rocking Chair, and they were fantastic. There was about 20 people in a rocking chair for a band this good. They're very much like the Smiths. Female fronted, got a female drummer as well, and they're called Desperate Journalist.
And what's this one?
This one is Control.
Control on the Sqweek. Follow us on Twitter at the Sqweek.
I'm so happy that we're here, just excited to be here. Please don't listen to them, dear. I'm sure you've had a great year. Oh, we're cutting
So that's Desperate Journalist with Control, and as I say, they headlined Crystal for Tramlines. It's a fantastic band. There's something else live, them.
Well, just to give a shout out to the guys we mentioned last week, Molly and Ellie were playing at West Street Live on, was it the Sunday night?
It was a Sunday night, yeah, after our show on the Sunday night. They were busking in Sheffield in the Sunday day as part of their survival tour to make some money to just be able to survive and get some food and move on to the next venue. So how did they end up getting on then at West Street Live? We didn't go down, did we? Because it was a school night for me anyway. Yeah, you couldn't get there, but my brother Neil went. He put them up for the night actually, but apparently it was fantastic. Floodhounds headlined, and these two girls played well. And you know what West Street Live is like with the drinks offers. You know?
Oh yeah, I always end up getting in a bit of a tangle because I always end up on Desperados.
Yeah,
which are lovely. But after 2 or 3, with the rest of the stuff that I've drunk, I'm just away. I'm gone.
Well, they had offers on shots and things like that as well. So there was a lot of drunkenness that went around to the point where I believe that Neil and the girls and a few other people got chucked out of there by the door staff at the end.
Oh right.
Even though it was their gig, in a nice, friendly way. And they ended up going down the road to the Wick at both ends or something and carried on drinking, which was probably not a great idea for them. But they had a great night, and the girls enjoyed Sheffield, and they're currently continuing their survival tour.
Do you know where they are now? Or
I genuinely don't right now.
Okay.
But yeah, if you have a look at do a Facebook search for Molly and Ellie, 2 girls, they're lovely girls, and they do some nice little sets.
Cool. Well, Danny Pietnik obviously was here for 2 weeks. 2 hours. Last week. He's not been here for 2 weeks. He did go home, and he did.
I just got this picture of him sleeping in a corner.
Oh, Danny Pietnik.
Yeah, for 2 weeks. He did go home. No, he didn't. He's bummed it in the other studio.
Yeah, he's locked in a room somewhere. No, he did. Where did he do? The green room on Wednesday.
Yeah, green room. Yeah.
Well, I was going to go down. I texted him. I said, "What time are you on?" Because I thought, at 8 o'clock, something like that. He says, "Oh, I'm not until 10." And I'm like, it's my bedtime now.
Oh, another school night, yeah.
So I didn't go down. But he said it was a good night. It was fairly quiet, but Wednesday night in town was it's going to be really. But he said he enjoyed it. And Danny's playing Maida Vale on the 3rd, which is on Thursday. Is that right?
Yes, Thursday, yeah.
So if you fancy catching Danny Pietnik, if you like what you heard last week, then get yourself down to the Maida Vale on Thursday.
That's if he finds it, because he didn't know where it was.
Oh yeah, I know. He's a bit of a fool actually, Danny, sometimes. But yeah, no, I think we managed to point him in the right direction, which is good. And I think I'm going to go actually, because I'm off the day after, so I don't have to be up.
I might be tempted to have a wander around.
Join. It's going to be a busy week. So I'm at the match Tuesday night, and then I'm at the gig Thursday night. So busy week for me. So yeah, if you fancy that, I think tickets are free. And there's a few on as well.
Apparently
it's not just Danny, so it should be a good night. What else were we going to mention?
I've got the note of some albums that are coming out, which seem a bit unusual. Firstly, I read yesterday that apparently Barack Obama, the US president, is going to feature on the next Coldplay album. So,
really?
Yeah, which I found a bit odd. Yeah, apparently they've got a recording of him singing Amazing Grace in a church as part of some tribute ceremony that he was at, and they're going to sample that and put it into the new Coldplay album.
Alright.
Which is a bit interesting. And then from there, I also read that Pope Francis, the current Pope, he's got a rock album coming out, which is his sermons with kind of prog rock undertones, which sounds absolutely bizarre.
Oh well, will it be on Spotify? That's the question.
That is the question. Do you think Pope Francis needs his 0.06 pence per play for the church?
Probably not.
Yeah, and Barack Obama.
Look out for those, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's worth giving a shout out to. I've been meaning to do it, and I keep forgetting. The Masons Arms in Hillsborough has recently been taken over, and they're having a lot of live bands on Saturdays. Every Saturday there's a live band on, and it's a good venue. It's sort of fallen away over the last few years. Not been a very busy boozer, but now they've taken over and they've sort of built it as a live venue on a Saturday. It's really good. So if you fancy, if you're down that way, It's on Langsett Road in Hillsborough, and they've had it all done up and everything now. So
it's been done up.
Yeah, it's had a facelift, and I say they've got bands on every Saturday, and they're on Facebook. It's the Masons Arms, funnily enough.
Yeah,
because that's what it's called.
That's the name of the venue. Yeah.
Yep.
But Hillsborough's lacked a kind of live music venue for a long time.
Yeah, well, I think since the Deep End went, I mean, the Ball had a couple of bands on, but
yeah, but there's. The Java Lounge next year, they've done a few kind of featured evenings where they have bands on. Catfish and the Bottlemen played there just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They do it every so often, but next year they're going to do it a little bit more regularly, I believe. So
I've only been in the place once. It's fairly small, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fairly small. It's very intimate. It's
Yeah.
like, I think they charge like $5 or something to get in, just to pay the bands, because it is bands that you wouldn't expect to be in there. As I say, Catfish and the Bottlemen played there. Reverend and the Makers played there. Was it last year? And I've seen some of the names that are down to potentially play next year, and it looks like it's going to be something fantastic. It's one of those kind of destination venues to go to and check out.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, as we always say, if you know anybody that's got that's in a band, or you want your music played, just send it as in. Get in touch on Twitter. We're at the Sqweek, facebook.com/the Sqweek, and get your music heard.
Yeah, we're open to giving an audience to kind of any local music. That's what we're all about.
Yeah. So please get in touch. Have we got one more before we end, James?
Oh, one more. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's play the next one, in fact, on that album, which is another band from Manchester called Moscow that I really love. These also featured on they featured at Crystal for Tramlines as well.
Yeah, just making sure we've got the right track. We don't want another Song 2 disaster.
Yes, yeah.
So who's this then, James? I weren't listening.
This is a band called Moscow, Manchester-based again, but they do a lot of shows in Sheffield. Really good.
What's this one called?
Down Hellfire.
Whoa.
I'm going down into the hellfire cage. I want a taste of the fear of the dark and the sparkle of the grave. I only ask questions to ignite a reply. I get a kick from knocking you sick and seeing the flashes of shock in your eyes.
And that's Moscow with Hellfire.
And just about time. They were a bit different. They were a bit heavier, weren't they?
Yeah, very kind of dark indie kind of based. I love them.
Well, just about time for us to say goodbye. It's been a lot quicker, only doing an hour this week. DJ Ski is back at 3. So join us on Thursday. We'll be not on the radio. We'll be going to see Danny Pietnik at the Maida Vale. Hopefully, well, I will be anyway. Get yourself down to that. Just time for us to say goodbye. You do anything in the week, James?
No plans.
Absolutely.
No.
We should have rehearsed that, shouldn't we? But we didn't.
Okay.
Hopefully, we'll be able to podcast on the show. So look out for that. We'll see you next week.
Bye.